When it comes to Five Nights at Freddy's fan games, I usually play them and don't really talk about them a lot. But FNAF fan games do hold a special place in my heart, considering the fact that, well, I was around since Five Nights at Freddy's started. There have been memorable Five Nights at Freddy's fan games that have come out in the last decade, such as Five Nights at Candy's, Five Nights at Sonic's, Five Nights at Warriors, The Return to Freddy's, yeah, you get the idea. But there's one FNAF fan game I want to talk about today that deserves its flowers, and that is... Released around 2015, Five Nights at Pokémon's was... something. For starters, the gameplay is basically what happens if Five Nights at Freddy's 1 and Five Nights at Freddy's 2 had a baby. And secondly, most of the characters are just replacement versions of the Five Nights at Freddy's animatronics, but with Pokemon. But you wanna know what makes this game better than Five Nights at Freddy's 2? It's got Pikachu, so fuck you, Scott Cawthon. To be fair, the game was popular, and it was gonna get a sequel, but you wanna know what happened? Nintendo. Yeah, so being the greedy company that they usually are, they took the game down and they hopes for the sequel. Down with the red plumber! And that's really much all to talk about this game. But what if I told you the story isn't over yet? What if I told you that there is a build of Five Nights at Pokémon's 2 that does exist? Five Nights at Pokémon's 2 beta version is currently the only existing media of FNAF 2. Unfortunately, as of this recording, this version of Five Nights at Pokémon's 2 is not available to the public, so all the information about the game will be taken from TheGameSalmon's video. Clicking on New Game, we are sent to a newspaper that says, Help Wanted, Pokefun's Pizza Restaurant. We are looking for a security guard to work in the night turn from 12 AM to 6 AM. Come! And join Phasmon and its friends at Pokefun's Pizza Restaurant, where the joy never ends and the pizza is to die for. We get our night screen and we load into the office. Which at first glance, it looks like the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 office except flipped. But hey, it looks like an original office, alongside the camera map, seeing as we have two hallways that lead to our office, alongside a few vents that could be entered in. Alongside, interestingly enough, a camera that is inside of our office. As for mechanics, you got a flashlight, a door, a lever that seems to produce shock, reset camera button, and an activate laser button. That should be all the mechanics for now, right? Right? But before we get ahead of ourselves, we should probably get used to the animatronics that are introduced on this night. Night 1 introduces Combuskin and Lopunny.
Batman, there's no laws against the Pokemon.
These two are easy to deal with, since they are basically like Bonnie and Chica. If they show up at your door, then just shut it. However, on later nights, Lopunny will realize that she's an animatronic and she will lift up your fucking door! If she succeeds, then that thing is gone. And you know what that means? Fish! If she tries to lift up the door, just go on Google and search up Lopunny. What you actually have to do is flip down the switch in your office, basically telling her to fuck off.
Lopunny is strong, my god.
Another thing is, if you see a shadow, that's not an Easter egg, that's Tobuscus.
He probably thought they were black.
If you think it's an Easter egg, then guess what? You're dead, idiot. After talking about our first two threats, we hit 6 AM and we move on to our first minigame. In this minigame, we play as Combuskin and we must find the key. Using the WASD keys, we move around the pizzeria and we find... ourselves? It's probably nothing too big. Let's use our cupcake to grab this key over here, and let's continue on. Wait a second, I thought that old version of Combuskin was deactivated. Why did it just attack us for no reason? Anyways, night 2. As we move on to night 2, the AI gets a little bit more aggressive, and we get a new animatronic. GameSalmon, would you mind telling us?
I mean, come on, I can't be all surprised Pikachu face about this.
That's right, it's our favorite yellow rat, Pikachu. However, he won't be your favorite rat in this game, as he acts like Phantom Balloon Boy. He does give a sound cue of when he's active, but just like Phantom Balloon Boy, he's unpredictable. To make it worse, if you get spooked by him, you had to reset the camera he was on. Fuck this yellow rat! Not literally! After possibly scarring a generation of people, we move on to our second minigame. This time we're playing as Lopunny and we have to open every lock within the building. We find the key that Combuskin was trying to use earlier and use it on every single door we could find. That should be everything about this minigame, right? Son of a bitch! That Lopunny wanted to showcase her Hunter impression! After finding out that bunnies can hop to 25 to 45 miles per hour, stop it, we move on to night 3. There shouldn't be anything noteworthy within this night, right? Wrong, Zoroark finally makes their debut. Zoroark is this game's Foxy, except... not. You do have to keep an eye on him, but when he enters the kitchen cam, use the activate laser button on him. Otherwise, you get the idea. After learning about Zoroark, we go ahead and hit 6 AM and move on... oh. Right. That's right, Ursaring has also made their debut. Ursaring is kind of a confusing character to me personally, mostly because I'm just going off footage here. Everything else has been understandable, like monkey see, monkey do type shit. But from what I understand, you gotta use the switch in your office. That's all I know, considering the fact that we cannot play this game. Please ask me! What also doesn't help is that there's no phone calls in this game. Yeah, I know, society wins. So judging from what we have, just taste the motherfucker. So after smashing my head into the wall trying to figure out how Ursaring works, we finally beat Night 3 and we move on to our next minigame. This time playing as Porygon or Porymangle, and we're not instantly given an objective. Instead we enter the dining room and find a crying child. Now our objective is to help find happiness for this ghost child. After looking for a while, we find a balloon and we have to pop it up by spamming space. And hey, is this just me or does this office feel familiar? Not the point, we gotta get this balloon to the ghost child right now. After giving the ghost a balloon, the ghost promises to come back for us. The ghost fades away and we cut to black. Would you look at that? A minigame with a happy ending. Damn it, Zorak, you had to ruin everything! After our happy ending gets cocked, we get on to Night 4. Since it's Night 4, there shouldn't be nothing new that has been added to the night. Who the fuck is this guy? While I can't confirm anything, there is most likely someone new in the basement. And besides that, Night 4 has nothing else to add. Besides this. 1:06 AM screen later, we have made it to our second to last minigame. This time playing as Bennett, I don't know how you pronounce it. Well, it's a puppet-like animatronic, so we gotta find the music box. We think it's in the basement, but in reality, it's in the office. Now wait a minute, this is the Five Nights at Pokemon's 1 office! And we haven't seen these two in the game in some way! Probably because of obviously that, but all these minigames have been taking place in the Five Nights at Pokemon's 1 location! Look, let's just put the past to the side and let's get on to the final night. Wait, now I'm curious, what happens to that basement creature? The final enemy that is introduced is Shiny Ursaring, or Golden Ursaring. Shiny Ursaring works a little different. A new mechanic is introduced, and it's almost like a music box. All you gotta do is hold the closed door button until the circle is full. And just like that, Night 5's over, and we are on to our last minigame. To make things come full circle, we are now playing as Ursaring. We go into the Marriott's room and we enter a code on a keypad. Then we are told that they're coming for us and we need to run. We leave the room to find out that Zorak wants to clap our cheeks. Denying him the pleasure, we run downstairs and we enter the basement and... the minigame just ends. And that draws a closure to the Five Nights at Pokemon's 2 beta version. I'm a little disappointed about the ending, probably because of how games have played the game, but otherwise for a beta, it was actually pretty good. I mean, there might be a chance that there's more mini-games, an actual ending, a Night 6, maybe a custom night, but then again, this is a beta, so who knows? All we know is that Five Nights at Pokemon's 2 does exist. Originally, this video was never going to get made, or I wasn't even going to work on it, but I had some motivation. Probably because there was another video talking about this, except it was in Spanish. But also, sometimes fan games come across my mind randomly. Five Nights at Pokemon's being one of them. I also probably wanted an excuse to upload a video to this channel. But hey, if you guys want to hear me talk about more FNAF fan games, please let me know in the comments below. Anyways, hit the subscribe button, like button, comment, you get the idea. This is YouTube. And I will see you in the next video. Peace!